Welcome to session 7. Now this session was called The Power of the Mind and Our Emotions and how we can soften around those edges. But I decided to make an executive adjustment. It's now called Love Trumps All. Hopefully, what you're beginning to recognize from this course is that we need to learn to love ourselves more, love others more. Love the fear that we have, love the anxiety we have. Well, not love it in that way, but begin to recognize that it is as much as a part of us as everything else. Our mind will continue to tell you things like, you're not doing enough, you're not practicing enough, you're not worth enough, you're not good enough, you're not in control enough, you are all these things. It will go on and on and on. Love trumps all. We can smile at these thoughts, even thank them, not because they're right, only because they're an opportunity to connect with these doubts and set them free. We can only do this with the tenderness and the kindness of love of ourselves. Martin Luther King's quote, "Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend." Albert Einstein, "Love is the answer." Mahatma Gandhi, "Where there is love, there is life." Dalai Lama, "The more you are motivated by love, the more fearless and free your action will be." Now, I could go on and on and on. These are just some of my personal favorites. You know, these incredible humans with a simple message. Love is the answer. And it may feel distant, it may feel unattainable right now, and that's okay. It may feel unbelievable. But this is the human conditioning, not the human condition. Our human condition, alongside anxiety, is the ability to love and build relationships. It's one energy that humans have not yet mastered or science truly understood. Albert Einstein once wrote, "The most powerful unseen force is love. Love is light. Love is gravity. It attracts us to others. Love is power because it multiplies the best that we have. Love has no limits. Love is the one and only answer. It is the quintessence of life." For Buddhists, everything we've been training for are these moments. That every contemplative practice sit like a mountain in the midst of a hurricane, sit like a still lake while the hurricane blows, to love unconditionally through these times of change, to recognize that this human spirit, your human spirit, our human spirit is imperishable, inextinguishable, it's unconquerable. But we can acknowledge the fear without immersing into it. We can reflect on what is probable versus what is possible. Like, many people may get sick. Life is dangerous right now. I have no idea what is going to happen. I may lose my business or my job. I may lose my home. This is possible. But most of these things have already been possible. What is happening now has not changed these particular possibilities. They've just brought them to your attention. They've brought it to your forefront. I want you to, I've actually attached a couple of pictures by Looney. Incredible, wonderful, just wonderfully relates to it and just sort of elaborates further in a visual sense what I mean. Please check them out there. They're on the web page down below or wherever they are. Now, the fact that any of these things may happen, more than likely none of them will. And even if we do, all we can do is meet it at the time that it happens. We can put as many plans in place, but when it happens, it's only happening in that moment. Now, a wonderful lesson from the Buddha when a lady approached him and says she felt uncontrollable suffering from the loss in her family. He looked at her and said, what I'd love you to do is just go to every house in the village and ask them for a mustard seed for me. And if only to give me the mustard seed if they've had no loss or suffering in their family. And of course she came back empty-handed. Now change is in all forms is inevitable. It is the suffering of that is optional. And there's no formula to love. There's no guidance on what we love. We just need to let it flourish like fertilizer nourishes a seed. It is a part of anything, a universal energy that connects us. And felt through that little generator, that little powerful generator that beats in the middle of our chest, that beats beats for life every day. My strongest hope is that we can all come through this safe and connected and maybe even a little more resilient and loving. And what I hope we're beginning to do is a little less of this anxiety, and maybe even a little less of this fear. Watching our mind, watching how these disruptive emotions, they rise and fall, and nourishing our body during and after. Fail forward, fearless, become fearless. Fear, you know what I mean. I've got the same thing stuck in my intro. But anyway, fearless, for no other reason than you deserve it as much as anyone else. Marinate in that self-compassion. Now this selfish act of self-compassion and love transforms as a gift to others in selfless acts like compassion and love. So this is our last video. We have a live session booked in for next week. Just a little chat and a meditation together. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all live on Zoom. If you can make it, it's okay if you can't. Now with much gratitude and appreciation, see you next week for our live session, and have an amazing, have a loving rest of your day.